My name's Sam Weyant. I am a sophomore. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a biology major. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and I am currently on SLU's dive team. I work as an RA in Greaser Deck Complex, and I am in Phi Mu. I would say my label I would identify as is like lesbian. Coming from Portland, I feel like it was growing up like a very, very liberal city and state. So I was a little afraid when I picked a college in the Midwest that it was going to be like a little more homophobic than I feel like I'm used to at home. I also have never lived anywhere outside of Portland, so it was going to be a little bit of a change. But I was pleasantly surprised. I feel like SLU's campus is pretty liberal. I feel I haven't ever had any like spaces on SLU's campus where I feel like my queer identity has been like hindered, or like just being in the Midwest, I feel like it's not as like scary as I thought it was gonna be. Being a student athlete is a little interesting, I would say. Like, you're in more of like a team environment, and I myself am like only I'm part of swim and dive, but I'm only a diver, so like we don't associate with like swimmers a ton. So like I have like my like core like team of like divers that I'm around a lot, which like my identity really doesn't affect like anything in there. But I would say like not everyone like knows about my identity. And often in athletics, like sometimes like it's like being in any other community, like you'll have some people that are more have other ideas than other people. So I'll say, I mean, there's been like a couple like comments like you'll hear like around like athletics, but I feel like that's the same with like in any community. I am. Which one would you like to talk about? I wasn't aware that we needed to save our sport, but I don't know. Does it say gender at birth?
Mm-hmm.
Do they assign gender at birth, or do they assign sex at?
According to them, they assign gender at birth.
Cincinnati, Missouri. Alrighty. I think there's a lot of other things the Missouri Senate could be focusing on that are not this bill. I think it's a little ridiculous restricting, like just trying to focus on this bill over like a ton of other things. And then also like, I don't know, like my personal experience, like I'm cisgendered, so I don't really have any like experience with this in women's sports myself. I'll say I have been teammates with some people who are trans, and it definitely being in college athletics and being trans is very limiting and very detrimental to one's mental health. Also, it can be very isolating and like not very like a comfortable place for them to be. And so like I've kind of witnessed that firsthand, and it'll also like affect like how you're able to like express yourself like in the sport, which is like often your sport is a place where you feel you're most comfortable and confident, but like that clashing with your gender identity so much is like really just kind of crazy. And then like having legislation like impact it too is just like it will force more people out of sports, which I think sports should be an inclusive place for everyone if they want to participate in it. Definitely being in swimming and dive being such a hot topic with trans athletes as like that sport in particular. I've definitely heard a lot of comments about this bill, especially being in Missouri as well now and it being introduced, that definitely aren't super inclusive towards any trans friends or athletes, which just again makes sports and like the like community of like athletics feel more of an isolating place for LGBTQ people to be, because like even though like I'm obviously not trans, but I'm in the LGBTQ community, it's not very knowing like that these comments are being like said is like not a very like comforting place for me to be either, like if that makes sense. Like it's, you know. Nope, because I don't think any of these people writing these bills are in Division I college athletic sports or in the trans or queer community. So I don't really think, and I don't think that a lot of, especially trans athletes' voices are being heard on this topic. I would say maybe try listening to actual trans athletes or people in the trans community and see what they have to say about it, because I think with listening, you learn a lot and it can open your mind to new ideas and provide a more inclusive environment for everyone.